The Disappearance of Samantha Tap, a vanishing wrapped in red flags. Let's unpack this. We're diving deep today into a case that feels like a puzzle with so many missing pieces, one that's haunted a family for nearly 2 decades now. It's the disappearance of 16-year-old Samantha Tap from Burleson, Texas. October 12, 2004. At the heart of this case lies a fundamental question, one that shaped everything that followed. Was Samantha just a runaway, or was something far more troubling involved? And that initial answer? It had a massive impact. Understanding how that question was answered, and how it wasn't, is key to understanding this case. We've pulled together information from law enforcement reports, interviews with her family, especially her older sister Kendall, insights from case advocates, and multiple news sources. The picture that emerges is confusing, frustrating, and heartbreaking. So our mission here is to sort through it all, connect the dots, follow the strange trail of clues, and see where things stand today. Let's begin with Samantha Tap. Samantha Leighann Tap was just 16 years old when she vanished. Her background was difficult. She and her older sister Kendall had both spent time in foster care. At one point, they were even separated, living with different relatives. Eventually, Samantha moved in with Kendall and their grandparents in Burleson. Kendall and Samantha had an incredibly close bond. Kendall described them as always being there for each other. That connection becomes crucial because after Samantha disappeared, Kendall would become the one who refused to stop looking for her. Her friends described Samantha as funny, full of energy, someone who loved to laugh and make others laugh too. A typical teen in many ways. She liked being outside, walking everywhere, and was into auto racing. But Samantha also struggled. She had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and, critically, wasn't on medication when she disappeared. She'd also had some typical teenage run-ins, like taking her aunt's car without permission, which had put her on probation. That detail would later confuse how the case was handled. That brings us to the day Samantha disappeared. Kendall had moved out of their grandparents' house by then. She was living across town with her boyfriend. Samantha came to visit her that day. Kendall remembers that Samantha was upset, though she can't recall exactly what it was about now. Probably something minor. Samantha had argued with their grandfather and didn't want to return to the house. She wanted to stay with Kendall, but Kendall told her she couldn't take her in at that moment. So Samantha left, angry. Kendall figured she'd cool off and come back later. She had done that before, but she never came back. That was the last time Kendall, or anyone, ever saw her. At the time, Samantha was described as 5'4" to 5'6", about 120 pounds, brown hair and eyes, pierced ears. She might have been wearing glasses or contacts. Interestingly, she also used aliases like Samantha Van Iber, after her foster mother, or Samantha Brown, a relative's last name. These details would later complicate the search. Now, here's where things start to break down. Because Samantha had run away before, always returning quickly, law enforcement and even her family weren't initially alarmed. It seemed like just another temporary disappearance. When Kendall reported her missing, the police classified Samantha as a runaway, and that decision changed everything. No immediate search, no widespread alerts, no major media coverage. Classifying her as a runaway meant fewer resources, less urgency, and ultimately, a case that slipped under the radar for years. In fact, in 2015, 11 years after she vanished, the Texas Attorney General even classified her as a fugitive because of her earlier probation. In 2011, her name was reportedly run by police in St. Helens, Oregon. In 2013 or 2014, Customs at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport reportedly ran her name too. But in both cases, no records remain. No notes, no explanation, just a trace of her name, a digital ghost. Other hits came from Tarrant County deputies and Coppers Cove police. Again, no records survived. It's a systemic failure. Data lost, leads abandoned. Time chipped away at the trail until all that's left are questions. No one knows. And perhaps most unsettling, Samantha's social security number? It hasn't been used since 2004. That could mean she never accessed services, got a job, or legally identified herself since vanishing. As Jason Watts, the PI, points out, none of these breadcrumbs are verifiable. Not the backyard signs, not the uncle's story, not the database hits. None of them can be definitively tied to Samantha Tap, which leaves us here, 20 years later, with a family still searching. Still haunted by a case that was never given a full investigation from the start. still asking, what really happened to Samantha? If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of Samantha Leighann Tap, please contact Burleson Police Department. Phone 817-426-9903. Texas Department of Public Safety Missing Persons Clearinghouse. Phone 512-424-5074. Or submit a tip to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Got thoughts or theories? Drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you. See you in the next one.